Just for the people who came in toward the end, or if you didn't have a chance to hear the challenge briefly, passed out the executive summary of brief that was presented to the participants at the beginning of the program. But just to say it in a word, the challenge that was presented to all the participants is how to effectively follow up on the 40,000 annual Birthright participants, where over the past 13 years, Birthright has invested over $500 million to take 300,000 Jewish students to Israel for free. And what they found is that the number of participants who attended 5 or more events post-Birthright was 4%. And so we recognize that as a community, the future of American Jewry outside of the Orthodox community is essentially represented in this group of students who will be the next generation of American Jewry. These are the people who have taken up the rite of passage of Birthright, and it's now the challenge to leverage that inspiration that is well-founded as a highly inspiring program, but how do we effectively engage them back in the community upon their return? Okay, with that, Ruby.
Thank you, Rabbi Dave. By show of hands, how many of you guys have been to Birthright? About less than 10% of the group. Alright, so let me give you a brief explanation of what to expect when you go to Birthright. I've been there about 3 years ago, and honestly it was an amazing experience. It took us swimming in the Dead Sea, it took us hiking the Masada, we kept the soldiers throughout the whole trip. We spent Shabbat evening in the Kotel, which was a mind-blowing, amazing experience. Nothing like ever before. We've gone shopping in the shuk. We've been with Israelis. We've been experienced. It was a culture shock. We were dipped in the culture. We lived with Israelis for 10 days, and honestly, nothing came even close to it. Once we got home, it was over. It's like we never even went. You went there. You were there for a week, 10 days. It was an amazing experience. We come home. There's no more connection. There's nothing to really bring you back. It wasn't relevant anymore. It's a problem many Jews face these days. Many of them come, they go to the trip, and then they come back, and then it was nice, it was a free trip, it was great, you go there, but there's nothing more to it. What's the solution? Well, unlike most people, pretty much you go there and you come back. We have a solution. Here it is. As you see, it says 85% of the trip meaningful. 85% of the people found the trip meaningful. Which means that they do have a connection with the trip. They do believe that there was something there for everybody, something that they liked. However, only 56% actually attended an event, which means there was a cutoff. About half the people showed up. Well, as expected through everything, there's always a percentage that wouldn't, that aren't worth investing and aren't worth bringing back, because we see them as a lost cause. People that are really, as much money you throw at them, as many events as you try and bring them in, they wouldn't come back. There's nothing to pull them in. And even more so, 4% attended 5 more events. That's such a small amount that it's hard to believe. Where do we lose? Where did that 96% go? We can't just ignore them and say that, oh, they didn't come back because of what? So the solution is that we thought that if you create a community somehow that incorporates people to belong, a sense of being, a sense of belonging, obviously they want to come back. For example, H does that. I have been part of H for 3-4 years now, right, Rabbi Dave? I've been pulled hook and sink. They pull me back again and again. I've been on countless semesters on. I've been to rabbis. I've been speaking. Why? Because I feel like I belong. I'm a part of H. It's the same concept. We got to apply to Birthright. Thank you.
Hi, how are you? My name is David Figgerton. I'm here to talk to you about the solution of what we're going to do with this problem. Basically, the program that is stepping stone right now is called Birthright Next. What we're going to do is we're going to call it Right Now. We're going to elevate it to its full capabilities. Okay? Birthright Next is a great idea, but what we're going to do is we're going to call it Right Now, and for that reason we're going to we want people to know that there's other things to do once you get back from Israel. We want a decrease in intermarriage. A lot of people are marrying intermarriage nowadays, and our culture is slowly dying down because of this. What we want to do is we want to create an engagement with Israel. We want to increase an association with Judaism amongst these young adults. We want basically for people to stay in touch with each other and create long life friendships. This is what Right Now is. In order to create Right Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a pre-birth program before the Birthright trip by itself. Which means, we're going to have 2 events which are completely optional. Completely optional events. You don't have to do anything. If you want to come, you can come. If you don't want to come, you don't have to come. But we're going to offer you incentives for each event that you can actually get money and spend money in Israel. Okay? Israel is a very expensive country. We're already paying for their trip. What we want to do is we want to give them some type of money so that way they can have even more fun on this trip. The first event would be an orientation, a meet and greet. You meet who you're going on the trip with, who you're going to have this experience with. This is a very huge experience. You're going to the country where your family is from. You need to know where you're coming from. It's culture. Do you see the value in this? From that, you're going to form relationships and you're going to form friendships. When you go to these places, you're going to bond with the people that you're going to go there because you have already met them. They're not going to be, people that you haven't met before. You're going to establish these friendships already. We're going to give them X amount of money to enjoy. The second event is the Israeli culture and society. The understanding of Israel. Build excitement. Have them excited to go on this trip. You want them to be excited. If they're not excited, they're not going to have any experiences, and they're not going to remember it. If they're not going to remember it, they're not going to be able to go to Right Now, our program. Bringing them in. Israel needs love. What do kids want? They want love, they want money, they want jobs. That's what they want. Why do they go to Israel? Because they want to have love. They want to find love within their culture. Do you understand? They want money. That's when the incentive comes in for the pre-program. They want jobs. What are we all doing here right now? This is all key. Right now. Do you see it? The event number 1, Right Now, the program after we come back is the Right Now program. We did pre-birth. We did the Birthright, now we're doing the Right Now. We're going to have a welcome back dinner, maybe a Shabbos, maybe, it doesn't matter what it is, it just matters that we're all together and that we're reuniting from something that we all experienced together. There's going to be 100 people at this event, maybe more. It could be a possible cruise, a possible lounge, something that they're going to remember after whatever they just experienced that they remember already. We need to solidify it in their minds that this is important. Anything that has value has meaning. Everything that has meaning will stay. Everything on the trip is going to be kosher, obviously. We're all Jewish. Everything has to be kosher. We could possibly have, guest speakers. We could have speed dating. It has to be fun. It has to be. You have to think and stop and say, "Am I going to do this?" A total budget, as you can see. Also, we're going to have networking for jobs. When people come back, statistics prove that the people that actually go to these trips are young adults that are in the process of graduating and finishing their undergrad degree. What is the first thing that you do when you have an undergrad degree? You want to get a job. Boom. What do? We have a networking for jobs. You meet people, you maybe talk to them, they can help you build a resume. These are all positive programs that at the same time bring you closer to your culture and keep you within the culture. Because as I said, this is very, very of huge value. Will it work? I think so. Other organizations such as Aish, Shabbat, etc., all of them have successfully worked and used these incentives to attract people throughout the years. It has proven to work time and time again. People want to know, what am I getting out of this? Especially young adults. Thank you. I'm going to bring the floor over to my colleague.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Lazarus. So we have our events, right? We've set up the events in a way that there's actually a transition going on. The people who come back from Israel, before the events, we related the events. Israel related the events to the trip. Subsequently, we brought them back. We wanted them to come to that follow-up dinner, get excited, get energized, and get back with their friends. The next 2 steps, the next 2 events, start inculcating them with Jewish values and ideas. Ultimately, what we've seen, and the statistics show, that the students who come back and have a network or a system to fall into tend to continue their Jewish experiences, whether it be in the Hillel, campus groups, and other organizations. Those who don't tend to fall away. We believe that many of the students who go on the trips are not really interested in continuing their Jewish education, and unfortunately, we may not be able to reach them. But we believe that for for a segment of that population, if we can provide them with appropriate connections and networks, we can create long-lasting relationships with Jewish organizations and Jewish ideas and ideals. And that's what we're ultimately looking to do. Following the Birthright and the Birthright Next, right now, stage, we're going to look to connect those people to other Jewish organizations, to get them in places where they can continue and grow by themselves. Unfortunately, within our budget, we can't develop 1 million programs and provide it for everyone. But the Jewish world has already done that in many ways. Programs like the Orthodox Union, the OU, have job placement programs. They have educational programs. They have other types of things like that. Nefesh B'Nefesh works with people who are looking to get back to Israel and possibly make Aliyah. H Connections has educational programs. Each one of these provides a service and a system that will allow us to take those students who are excited and motivated, who went to our events and felt that there was something beyond just the fun. They saw the spirituality, they saw the substance in it. And we can move them on, and we can provide them with places that will allow them to continue and to grow.
Thank God that Judaism has brought me to where I am now. Honestly, before, years ago, I was never religious. I never thought myself even being one who's going to be religious. But recent events have brought me closer and closer. Every week I get closer and closer. Thanks to Aish, thanks to all these programs, thanks to Birthright. My life is cumulative events. Everything brought me to where I am now. I'm dating now a religious girl, and it's put me where I've become. There's a buddy who introduced me to Aish, and without him I wouldn't have been associated. We need somebody to bring us together. My buddy bought me. Who's bringing everybody else? And that's what this program is for. Connecting us and connecting everybody else to these programs. Thank you.